So you've had a spiritual awakening, and perhaps you're wanting to know what happens next, and perhaps even what should I do about it. And in this video we're going to dive really deeply into this question. So we're going to give you 3 things to do and some things to expect, and how the life is going to happen for you now. It's going to be a very confusing time at the start. I just have to be open and honest at the start and say that, because it will be, because it's totally new for us, isn't it? We've just experienced something very, very different in our life and very, very powerful, and that should be respected quite keenly. And so to move on with this, before we do that though, in fact we're going to talk about a free offering that we have down below, and that's the Freedom Toolkit. If you have just had a spiritual awakening, this is the thing for you. It's completely free. I've made it for you. I want you to have it. It gives you an introduction as to how this is going to go, what we're doing wrong, and some practices that you can use to be able to enliven your spirit a little bit. Also, if you want to work with me, you can. We can do this path together if it's something that you're interested in. If you want to go to a specific destination that you've never been before, you should get a guide or a map. At least that's what an intelligent person does. But most people, they don't take action, and that's why their life stays the same, repeating the same karmic cycle. So if you want to, you can apply for the Freedom Blueprint down below. We can get to know each other and see if I'm going to be a good match for you. Good. So, after a spiritual awakening, well, what is a spiritual awakening? Well, it's something extra dimensional that's opened up inside of you, an experience perhaps of bliss and wonder, and therefore that gets your attention for sure. But it tends to leave us, these experiences, because they come and they go, and that's really important that we begin to understand that, because as we go through this process of me giving you 3 things to do, I'm going to leave the most important one to the end. So if you want to stay until the end, that would be much appreciated. Not only does it help the YouTube algorithm, but it's also where we're going to keep the most important stuff, because we kind of have to build up to it so that it makes sense. Of course, if you want to, please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, all that jazz. Once you've had this spiritual awakening then, because you probably have done it on accident, it's not an accident because it's destiny, but because it's probably happened without any previous work done to us, then in a way our nervous system isn't necessarily ready to keep those high vibe energies in the system, so they tend to leave. Problem is, once somebody's had an enlightening experience, for example, there's still a lot of karma underneath that has to be worked out, and that is a slow and gradual process. And actually that's a mercy from life that it's slow and gradual, because anything that happens really too quickly is very, very damaging for us. Take my word for it, that's my experience. Take it or leave it. So there's still a lot of stuff to be worked through karmically. Karma essentially means actions. Actions from this life, actions from, this is complete conjecture from my perspective, but from previous lives maybe, that have led me to this moment here. And I have some karma that I've not harvested, that I've not worked through inside of myself, and that's why we get these repeated karmic tendencies that keep coming up again and again and again and again. These are sort of the patterns, the blueprints that are in you that keep reappearing. Why? Because they need to be worked through. And thank goodness for a spiritual awakening, because it finally gets you to pay attention to the things that naturally you probably wouldn't have paid attention to anyway. So what can you do? The first thing you should do, if you are wise, is get some sadhana. Sadhana is your daily spiritual practice that will bring about the highest aliveness of energy in the system, so that you can shift the trajectory of your life. It will also clear all of that karmic crap, all of that karmic sewage in the system. But please make sure you get it from the right place and from the right lineage, meaning all lineages are good, you know, if it's a proper lineage. So just make sure you are getting it from a lineage, not from the local whatever, you know. So if you want to do it properly, do it properly. Second thing to do is to find a teacher. There are many great teachers. We offer our coaching and training here because this is what I've been made to do. This is the way that my blueprint is set out. But we're not the only one. We'd love it if you joined us. But of course, there are many, many other teachers. The great thing about us is we can give you more of a personal touch. Whereas if you go for one of the enlightened masters, good luck getting in. And second of all, he's not going to reply to an email. So it's just about what it is that you want and what it is that you feel you need for your journey. But finding a teacher is a must. The only reason I can say this is from experience. My teacher was my destined teacher. I also found him on the internet. And thank God I did, because I don't know where I'd be without him, without his teachings, and of course without me putting the work in as well to implement those teachings, which is something that you will have to do if you find a teacher. So what's going to happen then? Well, life's going to get a little bit strange for a little period of time. There are going to be lots of ups and downs, and you may even dive into a depression because once you've tasted the honey or the nectar, or you've got a little kiss from God or divine intelligence or whatever through an awakening experience, then because you can't hold on to that energy, it will leave. Yes, you'll go through many experiences, but it will ebb and flow, and when it leaves, you'll think you've done something wrong. You haven't. Don't worry. The only thing that maybe we may need to do then is get some sadhana, and it's not a may, it's a must. You must do that if you're wanting to take this path seriously. If you're not, then don't bother. But also, don't expect your life to go where you want it to go. Just a truth bomb. Love you lots. Good. So life's going to get really strange. Once you're engaging in some sadhana though, and your energy begins to shift inside of the system, you will begin seeing lots of synchronicities. Synchronicities can come in many different forms. They can be seeing numbers everywhere, repeating number patterns. But not only that, synchronicity also is the guiding principle of life. So sometimes there will be a coincidence, like you'll say the word flame and then on the TV will come up a flame or something. Some coincidence. What does it mean? Two incidences. Co means two incidences coming together. But we've taken that to mean random, and it isn't random. Synchronicity is the guiding principle of life. And so the more that you can pick up on these things, the more you recognize, I am synchronous. I am at one with life and life's energy. It's happening to me. It's happening outside of myself. Wow, what a funky manifestation. And the power of these is they get your attention. And then you begin to go, oh. And the thing is, and this is why I say life's going to get really strange, is because they are going to increase in their amount of happenings. Meaning, you might just start saying flame and then a flame comes up or something. Don't try and do this. It's just not in your will. It's just a recognition from the outside universe at the same time that you're connected. So don't try and will these things in, because it won't happen that way. But it will start like that, and then it will just happen every day. And then you'll start seeing numbers everywhere that just almost follow you around life. And there's a scientific thing about this as well. It's called the reticular activation system, I think. And what is it really? It's about, when you buy a car, and when you buy that car, you've never seen that car really before, but as soon as you buy the car, because your focus is on it, you see that car everywhere, isn't it? Well, as soon as you're doing these spiritual practices and your focus is upon that, then in the same way, everything that's connected with that will come into your view. And this is really powerful, if not just a reflection to say you're on the right path. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Of course, the more you keep going, the more and more your energy will shift. The more that karma, that road, that storehouse of karma will begin to diminish, and you will feel clearer, cleaner, purer, and more energetic and more happy on the inside. Mainly though, much, much, much more peace. And sometimes to the level of otherworldly peace that is just, you're so connected to the spiritual essence of yourself that this physical body, yeah, it's here, but it's almost like at a distance, and you can begin feeling really light inside. So the third thing to do, once you've got practices, is stay consistent. Like, you're bound to not be that disciplined at the start, and that's fine. Your life has just changed completely and utterly, and it's almost like you didn't even choose it. From one perspective, we can say you did, but in the human biological experience, it's like, whoa, something else has woken up inside of me, and I wasn't expecting that. And that can throw you and knock you for six. But once you've found some practices, it's really good to cultivate discipline. These will then be lifelong practices. I guarantee it for you. As soon as you do it once or twice, you'll go, yeah, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Well, it may not feel that way in the start, but you will, because you're going to see the benefit that you get. You're going to gain from these practices so much peace, so much clarity, so much energy to be able to manifest the life that it is truly meant for you. Part of the reason why you've had this spiritual awakening is so that you can have a wonderful life, because haven't you been desiring it? But you've got to do the MOT, you buy a car, You've got to get an MOT every year. Why? Because so the car doesn't screw up. Car must take you where you want to go, but if you don't get an MOT, car won't take you where you want to go. Same with us. We must do an MOT on the system, and that has to happen every single day so that the body and the life energies can manifest the life that we want, so that we can go where we want to go. So the third tip, I think, is to question everything. Because why has this spiritual awakening happened? Well, it's happened to connect you more to life itself, and that's obvious, right? But also to break you out of these old karmic patterns, these old thinking patterns that have been continual in your life that are not helping you. These are belief systems, aren't they, that are believed in, that have been passed down, and this is probably the most important part, passed down from generation to generation to generation to you. And it's like, well, life has now given you the opportunity to change them inside of you so that you can change it for the people around you. And then in that, because you've done that in inner work and changed the inner work for you, you've changed the inner world for other people, and then you've started lighting candles, haven't you? And they'll take the candles out and light the world too. In that way, this is the way we change the world. But it all starts with you. So if that's not a reason to pick up some sadhana, I really don't know what is. Good. So that's what happens after a spiritual awakening. There's more, but for now, this is enough, isn't it? That's enough to get your teeth into. And if you're not doing sadhana, blooming find some. Get on the mat, do the work, have some humility, isn't it? And recognise, oh yeah, this stuff works for me. And then stay consistent with it, because it will change your life in the same way that it's changed mine. Lots of love. Have a great day. Namaste.